hello there. Welcome here. All right. Hello there. Hope you guys can hear me. Welcome here to Current Situation Media. Today is ladies' night, so we are waiting for some of our guests to come in here, and but we will be playing some music in the back as we share this. So share this here. So we're gonna be on here for 2 hours. It's ladies' night. Tonight we're gonna talk about should a marriage slash relationship be 50-50 or not with regards to financial support, parenting, responsibility, or romance. So this is what we're going to be talking about tonight. And so I will be joined here by the panelists. Sometimes it take a while for them to come in here. So go ahead and share this here. It's going to be a 2 hour discussion here. So your participation matters. We ready want you guys to participate here. So we're going to be warming up here as we play some music in the background here. Let me test my sound here and see if it's working. Just a second here, guys. We will play mix here. We'll play some R&B, hip hop, rap. We'll play some old school game as well. We are waiting for folks to join us here. We're also waiting for the journalists to join us. All right, I'm back. Yeah, but so we try to play music in the background here, but all right, folks. If you are just joining us here, thank you very much for tuning in here. So today we'll be talking about it's a relationship topic. Well, we do discuss this every Wednesday. So tonight, like I said, we have already sent the links out to our panelists, and so we are waiting them to join us here. So as we await here, we going to start some discussion. We're going to dive in here. I'm just sending the link out here, and we're gonna be joined here by some of our panelists. We do have a special guest here as well. So let me go ahead here and start sharing the link so that way people can start joining us here. So join us. Tonight is ladies' night, ladies' night, ladies' night, ladies' night. How you doing? Happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday. We are in the middle of the week. Everyone gearing up for the weekend here. So I'm going to share the link here. We're going to start sharing the link. We're going to start sharing the link. It's ladies' night. Let's get on. Let me take this call here. So I am just waiting our folks to come on, then we can start. This is going to be a very important, interesting discussion here. So I have some phone calls coming in here. Have some. Hello there, beautiful sis. Little sis, can you hear me? I think she's still behind. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Thank you very much. Yeah. So how was it coming on here? Was it did it give you a hard time or you just copy and paste in the
I
browser?
copy and paste.
All right, thank you. Thank you for adhering to this late notice here. So this is my new page here, current situation media page. So right now, what I'm doing, I'm sharing here. We are still waiting those other guests to come on. Some of them said they will be coming on a little late here. How you doing? How's the family?
I'm doing good. Family's good. Just got home.
Yeah. How's the princess?
She's all right. She just got out
Yeah.
of dance rehearsal.
Oh, okay. That's good. We can't wait to have her back on the show here for you both to give us an update on the
Yeah.
passion that took place.
Oh yeah, and she also has some like exciting announcement to make here soon, so that'll be a good time to do it.
Oh, okay. So I'm just sharing this page now for us to start here, and some of our panelists should be joining us. But thank you very much for taking time off your busy schedule. I know how busy you are. How's your husband?
He's okay. He's out there taking care of the kids while I hop on here really quick.
Yeah. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, here, I'll go ahead and tune in here as we discuss. So usually on Wednesday we discuss ladies' night relationship topic. People send us different topic here to discuss. So tonight we'll be discussing should a marriage slash relationship be 50-50 or not? This is in regards to financial support, parenting, responsibility, and romance. So we will hear a different point of view, and usually when the audience tune in, they usually participate as well. Some of them call in, or some of them just make comments, and we put the comments on the screen here. So
Okay.
we are live streaming here from the current situation media page and also from the YouTube. So those are on YouTube. They also follow us, and those are just getting adjusted to this new page here. So let's go ahead and start from. Let's welcome you. I know you are not a stranger on the page here, even though this is your first time on the new page. People usually follow me on my personal page, but we decided to just focus and promote this page, and also we decided to just do posting from the personal page. So as we are sharing this, people will be tuning in. So welcome here once again here for the benefits of our audience. Go ahead, introduce yourself with regards to your relationship status and your state of residency and your profession.
Okay. First of all, congratulations on the new page and all the amazing things you guys got going on. My name is Ventica Woods. I currently reside in Des Moines, Iowa. My profession right now, I do have insurance agency, where we offer different type of insurance. We do health insurance, life insurance, business insurance, Medicare, and car insurance, all of that nature. And I also do have a nonprofit organization called Queen Sister. We focus on struggling families and in the United States, and then this year we're branching out in West Africa. We're branching
Oh,
out to, yeah, to do that in West Africa. We do have a gala coming up in June. It's going to be a scholarship gala. So as the time is getting closer, I will be posting a lot of information because so parents can have their kids apply for these scholarships. um, Even elementary student can apply. We're giving scholarships to elementary students, to parents who are wanting their kids to do sports, to do after school activities, but just don't have the fund to send them to those places. We are giving scholarships to those kids. We're giving scholarship
yeah,
out to middle schoolers and high schoolers, especially the graduating seniors. We are wanting to help them at least pay for their first semester of books, or part of their tuition, whatever they decide to use the money on. I think you were at our first gala in 2021 when we hosted that. I think you attended that. So that's what we
yeah.
do. And also on top of that, I am a pageant and dance mom manager.
Oh wow. Yeah, you are. You. I know you've been so busy here. I haven't chatted with you, off camera, but it was good that, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, she's like my little sister, very supportive. We support each other. Been knowing her for a while, and I just asked her to be a guest on the show today. She's not one of the panelists, but eventually, she will be, contributing her ideas. And as you all know, we are pretty much, excited about ladies' night relationship topic. This is reality. It happens in people's lives, and we don't discuss any personal issues on the show. We discuss about things that happen in real life. Reality. We generalize stuff. So thank you for that intro there, and thank you to bring us up to speed on your organization. We appreciate that here. So what's new for this coming summer here for your daughter, Passion, and also your organization in the Iowa? Because I know you say you want to focus a little bit back home in Africa, but any new thing, initiative?
Yes, we are trying to have a homeless shelter for women and children here in Iowa, for like either you're struggling or you're trying to get out of a domestic violent relationship. We're starting off with women and children first, and then when God opens the door, we will have another for men as well. So we're not leaving the men out. We're also working on starting opening up a facility for parents who are working and are struggling with childcare to have after school program for their kids to be at, while the parents are at work. Because one of the things that um, we want to help with, speaking from experience, I was once a single mother, and I know I still remember how things were trying to work and provide for your child, and also trying to figure out who's going to watch your kid and all of that. So I just want to give back, in that sense. My team and I are trying to give back. We are still going to continue to feed like we have been doing, because we don't have a building right now to do that. So we always wait till the summer month to do those things because we feed outside. So we really can do it in the cold weather. So that's one thing we're doing. And then for my daughter, she has two competition in June coming up. She currently has the title for Miss Iowa, the icon for Supermodel Unlimited. She does have some traveling engagements that she will be, by the grace of God, be heading to New York here in the next couple months to do New York Fashion Week, and I think she have two or three in Florida as
Oh,
well. So, but
yeah,
she's
I've
also,
been following her. Go ahead.
she's also working on other little projects that once it's ready, she'll come out herself to talk about them. I try not to like share too much information because she likes to like have that sense of control over what she's doing so she can learn as she's doing it. So we help in the back as much as we can, but then we also let her do her own thing and push herself.
Yeah, I've been following her on social media, that page that you created for her. Yeah, she's been doing well. She's a very interesting little girl. Young woman growing up here, involved in recreational activities, activities that she's very passionate about. And she's have a lot of energy. We like to see other youth grow up like that, and we encourage them, and to participate in positive activities, activity that they have passionate about,
Right.
and a support system, being the parents, being coaches, friends and family. So yeah, so continuing the hard work, we appreciate that. So moving forward here, I know you don't have much time yet. As later on, like I said, I reach out to all our panelists, so usually they come on different time. So let's dive into tonight discussion on should a marriage or relationship be 50-50 with regards to financial support, parenting responsibilities, and romance. We see nowadays in relationship, people want equal rights. People want to be treated fairly. Men and women, they want to, especially the men, they want to make sure that a relationship, a responsibility is shared. So, what is your thought? I know. Let's go step by step. Let's start with financial support. Should, first of all, respond to the question: should a relationship be 50-50? Yes or no?
I believe her relationship should be 100-100.
100, 100. So, what do you
Right.
mean by 100, 100?
What I mean by 100-100 is that when God created Adam and Eve, that was a union that he put together. So marriage is actually something that is ordained by God, is a partnership, is a helpmate. So a wife is a helpmate to her husband, and a husband in return is also a helpmate to the wife. So, in order for a relationship to work, in my opinion, you guys have to put in 100% on both sides. Doesn't matter who's doing what more in one area, but when it totals up, it has to be 100-100. I don't believe in 50-50 because then I'm like, that's half. That's half the work.
Yep.
But to
Well,
me, it's 100
in a
100.
sense of 50-50, we are looking about if the relationship is 100%.
Right.
In a 100%, we are just saying that how many percent that each partner should be able to contribute. Should it be 50-50? Should it be 70-50? Should it be 90-10%? So, but if you say 50-50 and you just broke down 50-50, so when it comes to financial support, should the men take the lead, or it should still be 100-100 where they have to sit down and draw a financial plan, and they have to be able to contribute equally?
Right. So when it comes to financial support, with that, it depends on each household. It depends. It depends on each marriage. But when God ordained marriage, the man he made the man the priest, the provider, and the protector, right?
Right.
So those are his three main roles, which means he have to always make sure that his household is together. He's leading his household the right and godly way so that his wife and children can follow. And he's also there to provide for his family and to protect his family. But in so doing, the wife is also a helpmate. Depends on the household you're living in. The husband has to take the lead, but the wife should also be in a position to uphold the husband wherever he falls short.
Well,
Which
that
means,
yes.
which means it's okay if the wife is a stay-at-home mother, right? Because here is where she comes in if she doesn't have a job. but she's also saving the household from childcare. Because if both households are working, who's going to take care of the house when everybody else is out of the house? So if that wife is home, she may not be bringing physical income in, but she's saving income from being spent outside of the household, which means childcare. She's she's making sure the household is clean. When the husband walks back into the house, making sure he has one meal on the table. So those, if that's her part that she is able to do, and again, it has to be on a clear understanding of the household. Husband, wife sit down together and come up with a plan that works for them, not for everybody else, but for their household. So if they come up and say that, okay, we have a child, or we have 3 kids, or even if they don't have a child, if the husband is making enough that he is comfortable enough to take care of his household, then that's what it should be. But in this day and age, a lot of times it takes more than a one income household to survive. So there where the woman comes in.
Okay.
She will work, but is that responsibility on her solely? Of course, she's the woman of the house as well. She want to pull her way around the house, but the husband is over here with the whole providing thing, and not solely depending on the woman to say, okay, you got to pay the rent, and I'll pay this, and I'll pay that, and you pay this. This is your bill. This is your bill. For personally, for my household, we don't work like that. So I really cannot speak for everybody else. That's what I'm saying. It depends on the household and the compromise and the understanding between the husband, the wife, the boyfriend, and the girlfriend, however they find themselves as partners.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for your input here. Let me add on to it here. You know, like you made some key points when you talk about sharing responsibility, especially when one person bringing the finance in. So that's for me. That's where the 50-50 comes in here. If the both parents are working, I think a man is pretty much like you said, the Bible said, man should be able to be a provider and protect his home. So even though the man is financially providing the money or the finance, if both parents is working, the man should be able to take some higher responsibility, while the lady also takes some responsibility when it comes to you know staying home with the kids. But if both parents have a full-time job, and I think both parents should be able to be financially willing to contribute as needed,
Right.
because our relationship is based on communication, and sometimes in relationship it falls apart based on finance. People get married for different reasons. Some people get married based on they want to be financially independent. Some people get married because they want to be happy relationships. So with if in answering that question myself, I would say yes. But that doesn't mean that the man should not be able to provide more.
Right.
It can be 50-50 in a sense that maybe he's bringing in more income, but the lady is also doing something else in
Right.
or around the house, making the man having more time to, spend at work. Especially if one parent is working and the other parent is not working, there should be some kind of shared responsibility with regards to the finance and responsibility. Because if they have, like, let's say they have like 2 kids or 3 kids, the man is working full time, and I think that lady should be, let's break it down to the African culture. Most African women, they used to being a housewife. Where the man goes to work, and they stay home with the kids. And most African men don't have a problem with that, because at least they are not taking the kids to babysitter. The kids home with the mom, the kids home with the parent. Dad gets off work, everybody run to him and hug him. They sit around the table and they eat dinner. But in the Western culture, it's different. So can you give us some example in the Western culture where both parents are working? Where both parents have a full-time job. How should this be responsibility be shared?
Okay. So in the working, so me, my husband and I, we are intercultural. we are in an intercultural marriage thing. So he's from here and I'm from
Yeah.
West Africa. Again, like you said, our West African family, I don't believe in that, but West African mothers back in the days always just they were the housewives, where they stayed home and the husbands went out and did what they did, came home and provide. When my husband and I first met, I had a full-time job then, working outside of the household. We got married, and I was still working outside the household. We did pay bills. What we don't do in our marriage, and I'm just using mine for example because that's what I know. I don't know about other people's household.
Yes, yeah.
We don't have his and hers money. We combine the money.
You have one account, or each person have
We
separate account?
we have Sarah's different banks, but it's joint account in every bank that we have.
Oh wow.
So my husband does not get paid and say, hey, my paycheck is in your account, or this is my bank card.
Right.
It's jointly together. Because one thing we have learned as saved young married couples is that we don't like to leave any cracks in our marriage where the enemy comes in to play. So doing his and hers in our opinion, and it may work for other people, but again, for us in our opinion, his and hers just leads to these unnecessary disagreements and arguments.
Right.
So our marriage is like an open book to ourselves, where he knows what's going in mine and I know what's coming out of mine. So with me saying that, we have a combined bank account. We have one account for bills. We have another account for rainy days. We have another account for fun days. We have accounts for savings, and we do all of that.
So
So
to
when
pay the
money,
bill, so to pay
right?
the bill, you guys don't discriminate which account to go in. Just any
No,
account is
just
both of
yeah, we open a bill account. We have an account that says bill, and then we have an account that our money goes in first. Then we split that up into these different accounts and put what needs to be in what account goes to that account, and whatever is left in that bills account it goes to the bills. Doesn't matter if I had $20 there and he brought in 9,000. Is the bills account, and we paid the bills together.
all right.
So
So
we don't differentiate.
but what nowadays you see most women you know they sometimes the relationship falls apart because they want the man to take that more responsibility. They want to keep that paycheck. You know, even if sometimes they have one account together, they will always be like, oh hubby, this is my personal account here. You know, you the man, you should pay the bill, you should pay everything. Let me be able to use my money on myself. You see, mostly it's in you know, those Africans that relocated from Africa here. You know, it brings problem in the relationship where they always want the man to, you know, pay 95%. If they have to pay anything, they will be like, okay, I want to pay just the light bill. But they're both working full time, but they want the man to spend at least 95% on his paycheck. And some African men, they don't, some will be able to do that, but not for too long. And sometimes bring us about, financial disagreement. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that a lot of times, when we are in the dating stages, I call it the honeymoon stages. We forget to
Yeah,
have those crucial conversations. We forget to have those conversations that are so important. We are on the surface and asking, what's your favorite color? What food do you like? What school did you go to? Those questions are okay to ask, but you have to ask when it comes to a marriage household, what do you consider a proper marriage household? How will you how do you desire for me to be your spouse financially? Those are conversations that we don't have in the very beginning until we get into it and then we are blindsided. So I feel like when we start having those conversations in the very beginning, and it's not too late to start this conversation either, because even in marriage, no matter how long you're married to someone, you still got to learn them every day because people change every day. But with that, I think society actually has a lot to play with that. and the difference in our upbringing, the difference in the value that we have on marriage. There are some people who understand marriage to be one way, and there are other people who understand marriage to be another way. So you can't really pinpoint on why people are acting a certain way. It has to do with their environment, it has to do with their upbringing, it has to do with things that they value. So, what are these women valuing in their relationships that's making them think that when they work, it's just mine? Because if you stand at the altar
Yeah.
and the pastor says, and the two shall become one,
Right.
what that means is that when you have two cups and you are wanting those two cups to be put into one, you have to go to demolitions, which means you have to break it apart, melt it, put heat on it, fix it, and turn it into one cup, which means there is no more two cups. No matter what you say, oh, but it was two before. Yeah, that's in the past. Same thing as marriage. Once you become married, you are one.
Yeah,
No going around that.
and that's a key point, I mean, and the reason I keep referring to our culture, I like to, to make some reference to the African culture. The only time you see sometimes our women decide to help out when the man is maybe out of job or the man is struggling, and it becomes a burden on them. They be complaining, say, oh, you're not providing, I'm taking care of the house. But it's vice versa, like you said. You made a key point where when they get married, is we both are one. Okay, even though we both are one, we both got a full-time job, but that doesn't mean that you should put a financial burden on the man. Our African women love to do that. Trust me, it brings up a whole lot of problems. And the men be like, okay, the same way you want to save up, I want to save up too. Even though we have one account or have our separate account. All right, let me give an example on me. The same way you give example on you. In my household, my wife have her own account. I have my own account. We do have one account. We call it, you know, bills account slash rainy days. I allow her to use her money, and however she wants to use her money, because that's her personal account. Even though we are one, but I really sometimes love what you call the privacy. I want to have my personal account. We agree upon throwing money into one account when, on a certain day. Whether somebody don't work or not, if you want to throw money in an account, you throw money in an account. But I always say that, yes, I am the man, but guess what? The bill should be paid. If somebody think that they want to pay this bill, they should take the initiative to pay this bill. Because it don't have to be when one person, lost a job or one person is employed before the other person step in, because that's how you see a lot of our Africans relationship when it comes to finance. It always a problem because why they push that responsibility on the man. I don't know. It's because in Africa the men is to work and the women to stay home. But now we live in the Western world. Things have changed. Even in Africa, both partners are working, trying to provide for the family. Then with regards to the parenting, most men like to put the parenting on the women. All right. Why again is because the culture back home. They feel like they should go to work and the women should be 100% responsible most of the time with the kids. But I think it's not fair. You the man, you the woman, you took part in making those children. So take some of the burden off the female. Yes, take the female is not God didn't make her to just stay home and watch these kids. She already took these kids for 9 months. She bear a lot of pain. So I think the men should to be 50% involved in the kid's life, the same way the women is actively involved in the kid's life. Because parenting, kids grow up in home where they like to see both parents involved into their life. When both parents are involved into kids' life, they grow up in a very good way. Even if both parents don't live together, they separate, but they won't see that involvement coming from dad and coming from mom. But most Africans also, think that since female, the kids are attached to the mother should, most of the time take responsibility. Let also take example again when there's a separation in a home. You see, first of all, the women want to take the kids. All right, the women want to take the kids. They are, they don't want for the kids to go to the man. And even though the female is taking the kid, I think men should be like, okay, the kids want to live with with the mother, but still, I should be actively involved in our kids' life. I should not want to be like, you know what, you're taking me for child support. Sending money, but no, you should be able to pick up those kids. They should be able to spend some time with you, and try to give the female some time to herself too. So it should be 50-50 involvement. That's how I believe. Unless you want to add something that, or you want to disagree with something that I'm saying.
No, I definitely agree. And even going back to what you said about your household, again, that's what works for you guys.
Yes.
So, one thing I can say about that, about the whole women wanting to use their money and men wanting to use their money, if your husband is overworking himself, how do you expect him to function as your husband at home? And I'm not talking about bedroom functioning, but just to be able to like reach his full potential. Because marriage, you should be his peace and he should be your peace as well. So if all he's doing is working and all you want to do is use your money how you want to use it, that as a woman coming, that don't sit right with me, because then it's not fair to him at all. Just like you said, it's not fair for the husband to leave the parenting and everything else on the woman. It's not fair to leave all the bills, especially as a woman who is capable of providing or contributing to provision. Let me
Yeah.
say that.
Or she have, or
Did she
her.
have the means to do it? It's there. It's not that it's not there, but it's there. So if it's there, I think when we start to get rid of the mindset, because we're too stuck on how our parents, our mothers lived back in the days. But that's why you see our fathers was always stressed out. They was
Yeah.
mostly alcoholics because they were overworking themselves
Yeah.
too much, to where they wasn't living too long, or even if they lived long enough, their body wasn't too functioning for their family or for themselves. So we can't keep living like that when we are seeing how that happens to the men, because there are sometimes that men go through stuff that they don't even talk about. Honestly, you guys go through battles that y'all don't talk about. So the least we can do is meet you guys halfway in that aspect. Again, I'm not saying the men should put the responsibility of paying this bill. Okay, every month, make sure the rent. When I bring 600, you bring 600. We combine. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, wives, we should always be that helpmate to our husband
I,
all the way around in the marriage. Helpmate.
I totally agree. Like you say, you made a key point. If the means is if the financial means is there, because I've seen in some relationship where the woman makes more money than the man, and and she takes over. She pay a larger portion of the bill, and even though the man is providing, but because she understands that, okay, he's not making more income than me, but guess what? He's my husband. We're in a marriage. So if he cannot afford it, I can afford that. So if both partners have the financial means, yes, they should be able to provide on an equal level. That's how I feel. You should be able to provide on an equal level. Don't say, oh, because he's the man. We understand he's the man. He's still, taking responsibility. If the man say, oh, baby, I want to take the initiative. Use your money on other aspects of the bills. I want to take initiative of the rent. Because I feel that the rent is high, but pay the bills. I don't think that should be a problem, in our African community. That's why I want Mr. I Love You too to come on. Mr. I Love You, I know you're watching. Maybe you are at work. Come on here. We want to hear your input. And I'd like to recognize my man, D Will. D Will is also watching. So, D Will, if you want to come on and provide your input. For some reason, none of my panelists are even sending or trying to come on, and I send them all the requests. I know Cece Martin told me that she's a little bit busy and I couldn't get hold of DJ Finance. But Monica, if you're just joining us, come on. Devane, please come on here. I'm here with our guest. She's not even the panelist, she's a guest, but she came on time. So we thank you very much here, Ventika here. So what about, let's go to the sensitive part here, the romance. Who should be able to initiate romance on a daily basis to keep the relationship bond? Because romance is key. Intimacy is very key in a relationship because it keeps that bond going, it keeps the couple happy. Who should be able to really, always initiate it, always sending signs and signals? Your thoughts?
Um, I personally don't think that it should have a specific person who is in charge of that.
Yeah.
It depends solely on both parties. Um, and intimacy is not always sexual. Honestly, it's not.
Yeah. I
Um,
concur with you. It's not always sexual.
right. So there, like my husband, his love language is physical touch and words of affirmations. So I know that, and he knows my love language. He knows things that he says, what to say to make me feel appreciated, what to say to makes me feel like, okay, I think I'm doing good in this area as a woman. Because not that I need praises from him or he needs praises from me, but sometimes you need to hear those things. So whatever romance looks to the party, to the husband and the wife, whatever romance looks like to you is what you do for one another, not just dependent on the man or the woman to always initiate those things.
Key points, key points. Folks who just joining us here, this discussion is very vital. This is a stuff that occur in almost every relationship and marriage. So if you have input, if you don't want to come on, let us know. You can make a comment. We can put your comment on the big screen here. We just uh, Mr. I love you say hello. We can put your comment on, and they will say hey man. And we just been joined here by Marie. Marie said the men. Marie said the men should be taking the responsibility. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you have very important discussion. So if you want to come on here, let us know. We will send you the link. But some key points, there are very key points when it comes to romance, intimacy. It should be initiated by both parties. It should not have who start who, because it keeps the relationship going. Because if you stay with someone 10, 20 years, relationship is like, it comes to, you have to find ways to renew it. You have to find ways to make it exciting. Because some people get bored in a relationship. They get very bored. Couple get bored at each other because why? Another couple is not coming or ideas to make things new. You are not taking your woman out on a, maybe every month take out 1 or 2 month dates because you've been with a person for 5, 10 years. The person want to see you spice up. The men should spice up, or the women should spice up, because or else you guys gonna find someone who is giving you guys that attention or making you guys laugh and smile. Don't be like, oh, okay, me and the person now stay 10 years together. She gotta get used to it, or he gotta get used to it. No, it create problems. It create problems too. And like I said, that's where the 50-50 come in. That's where the responsibility of both partners come in. Because create something that will spice both, up. Create something that your wife will like, your husband will like, in order to keep that bond moving forward. Because people think relationship is easy. It's not easy. Am I right? Is relationship easy? Most people just think that, okay, you know what? When we have sex, then we find, no, the sex is just a feeling. But relationship, you're living together, you're continuing to be in a relationship, you're married. Relationship, I tell everybody, it's not bread and butter. Trust me, no. Yeah, it is not bread and butter. It's something that it's a whole ball game. It's one of my friends usually refer to relationship as a business. You have to maintain that business to keep going, to keep growing. You see how business starts on so initial stage, and the business become so big that it start generating a lot of income. That's how relationship is. And he broke things down to me. He said, oh brother, relationship is like a business. When business start, everybody excited, but how to move that business forward, how to grow that business. He compare it to relationship. And that's what you see, divorce rate is high. People jump from relationship to relationship because they just think that when you have sex, then you're bam, you're in a relationship. No, You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. It's far more than that. It's far more than that. There's a lot of stuff that you guys have to discuss, communicate, and be able to compromise and be able to build and be able to establish. Yeah. But any other thoughts?
I agree to that. Not only is relationship hard, it takes a lot of work, but it's also enjoyable. You can build your relationship how you want it to be. But just because you have spent time building it doesn't mean you stop building it. In a relationship, in a marriage, every day you have to wake up with your mind made up that this is what you sign up for and you are going to do the work every single day. It doesn't stop at the altar. It doesn't stop because you guys been together for 10 years. It doesn't stop. People grow, people change every day. People interest the things that I had interest in when I first met my husband, 90% of those I don't even have interest in them anymore. So how we just stopped right there, I would probably be bored at this point and wanting to get out just because he stopped learning me. And when I met my husband, how he was and the things that excite him are not so exciting anymore for him because we're getting older, life is happening, things are changing, our environment is changing, so we're also changing. So we spent time learning one another and communicating our feelings, our wants, our desires to one another. In a relationship, I feel like where we go wrong on both men and women's side is we are too afraid to have those hard conversations.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Those hard conversation needs to be had. You have to continuously date one another no matter how long you have been together.
So
And dating again does
would
not.
you say in relationship is also a learning process?
It
Learning
is. It's like a
process.
school. You
Yeah.
it's not there is not a day that you graduate from learning in relationships. You learn that spouse until you take your last breath because I can wake up tomorrow and something that my husband did today that made me so happy and he do it again tomorrow. I may not be so happy about it
There you go.
because we have emotions. Our emotion changes every day and by the second, honestly. So it takes time. But once you guys understand and have an open line of communication and you guys are having those hard conversation and not just having them just to like point fingers at who's lacking in this area because the man and the woman will not always be equally yoked in the same place all the time. There are some place in relationship that the woman will be up here and she helps her husband come up with her. And there are other times that in the relationship, in other departments of the relationship, it could be finances, it could be parenting, it could be budgeting, it could be romance, whatever your strength is, you have to help your spouse to be strengthened in that area. In your weakness, if your spouse is stronger than you should be willing to help that person as well because then it balances the relationship.
Good point. Good point. How long you and your husband been together?
This year make us 5 years being married.
Oh yeah. So when you guys met, did you guys have a lot of similarities, a lot of interest,
No,
or you because I like I said, I've been knowing you for a very long time. You used to be a party, you always come to my party, and
yeah.
according to you as one of my promotional model, I say Ventica. I never used to call you Ventica back in the day. I used to call you D, right?
D.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And used to be, and to be honest, and folks, this is a very beautiful little sister who I transformed. She's very brilliant, very intelligent, but she used to be a party girl. But I never used
Every
to see,
weekend.
yeah, yeah, every weekend. But I never used to. Does your husband used to be a party guy too? But because he seems kind of quiet, calm, yeah. So you
Me
had,
and my husband, we are very opposite.
yeah. So, but then
Um,
how you guys making this relationship last?
because opposite attracts, right?
Wow.
That's why I talked about the balance. When I'm the more I used to be the more bubbly type of girl. You
Right.
know, I'm all for all the fun, and he
I know.
was the chill. He still is the chill
He is
husband,
still. Yep. I
right?
still see that in him. Yeah.
So a lot of times when me and my husband met, we had a lot of hard conversations,
Wow.
and those hard conversations helped us understand each other better. And we made a lot of compromise, and we still do,
And again,
because it comes to a lot of
you're both
compromise.
from a, you're both from a different culture.
Very different. I'm the first
Yeah.
African person he had ever dated, talked to, anything.
Wow.
I have the upper hand on him because I've been here for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
He has not been to Africa. So even with our communication, there were times when me and my husband first met, because when I thought I was communicating with my husband, he wasn't receiving it. And when he thought he was communicating with me, I wasn't receiving it, because then our communication were different. Which means we had to always revisit the conversation, talk it over, and actually talk to each other like we were in preschool, just to have each other understand. Not that he didn't understand English or I didn't understand English, but our way of communicating was different. So it took time for us to learn each other because of cultural differences.
Yeah.
When
So
I
give us some advice here, for the benefit of our audience here. And this is why we tell these. I tell the audience here. I understand that I don't do the show on my personal page because I want to promote the business page. But the show is very informative. You learn at the end of the ladies' night. The show is not about gossip. The show is something that you learn. People coming with new information, and that's one of the reasons I reached out to Ventica to contribute to some ideas. So you learn on the show. It is very entertaining and is interactive. So give her an advice here for the benefit of our viewers here. This is a female that married a different culture. She's had different interests, he have different interests, but it's still together. The work that we are communication and message was not received from the beginning of the relationship, but it still managed to create that loving kind bond and continue to be successful marriage. So what was your strategy? Give us some advice here. That we can learn from a successful married couple like you and your husband. What was some of your strategy? What was some of the lesson learned and for people to follow?
So one of our biggest strategies was God. Me and my husband were very big on our faith and our religion and our beliefs in God, right? So we did a lot of praying on our own time, and we do a lot of praying together. We do a lot of reading together.
Right.
But then on outside of that, we talked a lot and we did a lot of compromising, a lot of it. Things that when you're single, you say, I'll never do. When you go into a marriage, you have to change that vocabulary.
Wow.
You have to change it because you can't be selfish in a marriage. Like, for example, when I met my husband, I wasn't a heavy, strong alcohol drinker. And I can say this because it's behind me now. But I always drink wine when I'm in school and I'm studying. He did not like drinking. He doesn't drink at all. So he
Yeah,
had
I've
problems.
never seen him drinking whenever
Right.
I meet him to an event. Yeah. So
Right.
did he drink during the wedding? He didn't drink no wine.
Who?
Him, your husband.
Nope. And my parents respected that
Yeah.
because they respect his beliefs, they respect who he was. So that's those are one of the compromises I had to make. Okay, if I'm going to make this work with my husband, he's telling me that he doesn't like the fact that I drank, even though it was just wine. But the fact of the matter is, he doesn't like it.
So because of him, you quit, or you just did doing it in moderation, or occasionally.
I haven't drank since Ooh, since our wedding night.
Really?
Yeah.
So even though that's something that you used to do, or you were part of your social activities, even though he didn't like it, but did you tell him, say, "Oh, hobby is going to take a while for me to just completely leave it, or I can do it occasionally," or you just
Well,
decided to quit it?
when we first met, he knew that I drank here and there, like especially when I was doing homework for school.
Yeah,
He knew that, and he talked. We talked about it up front, and I was like, okay, and we talked about it again. So it started making sense that okay, he really doesn't like this. So then I told him, I was like, hey, how about my wedding night?
yeah.
It's my last night. I'm going to drink. He said, okay, I can work with that. And I made a promise to my husband. We both believe in when we make promises to one another, we don't break it.
You don't break your promise. So
Right.
your last time you drank wine was your wedding day.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Actually, it was the night before my wedding. It was the night before my wedding, not drunk.
when you guys are invited to occasion where everybody, having a toast, drinking wine, is okay. That's good. That's good that you give up. So what did he give up to? That
Oh, he gave up a lot. He
yeah,
he gave up a lot just like I did. Because we both were in church then, but we wasn't heavily involved in church.
right.
And as we started growing together in Christ, there were a lot of things that we had to give up. And even before then, we started giving up things. One of the things that he gave up is making beats, like going to the studio. That was something that he was really into. But we
Music.
all know that these studio time take up a lot of times. And my husband and I relationship, we are best friends. I'm like his little homie. So everywhere you see my husband, unless he's at work, you're going to see me, or he's going to like the manse uh from the church meetings and stuff like that, and I don't get to go. But if I have my way, I'll be there. If my husband is making a store run, hold on, honey, let me put my shoes on. We're going to go. Not because
Really?
he don't trust me being out by myself, or I don't trust him being out by himself, but the fact of the matter is we're so used to each other. We want to be stuck at the hip. So we spent a lot of time together. And with him going out to the studio, that was time too much time away from me. It's nothing negative, but because he knew that sometimes when he comes home, I'm already asleep, and we don't have time to like sit and talk like we're supposed to. He saw that that was not something I was okay with. And he slowly stopped doing it. Then he started doing it at the house. And then he just completely stopped
Okay.
because he felt like, okay, this is not something that my wife, again, not because I was trying to have him put his career on hold. He wasn't trying to take the music career to music things as a career, anyways. But those are just some of the compromise that we had to do. And
But he was also doing the music thing as his passion, even though he was not trying to elevate it, but he gave up one of his passion because even though he spent
right,
a lot of time, but it was his passion. Am I correct?
right.
Yeah. So
So looking
was it
from the
okay that
outside
he gave up
in,
his passion, one of his
yeah,
passion?
he loved making beats.
Yeah.
He'll make beats in a heartbeat, and he was good at it. But at the end of the day, looking from the outside in, you'll feel like, okay, why would you let him do this and do that and let go of something he's been doing for
Right.
so many years? Well, I didn't give him an ultimatum and say, well, if you can't stop making beats, then I'm gonna leave. No, he just
Yeah.
saw that I really didn't have interest in it, and his time away doing that was taken away from the time that we had together. So he had to make that sacrifice to let it go. He can still make BT out the house if he wants to, but he had outgrew that. So
Yes.
he's honestly at a different level from that. And another thing that he let go of was playing basketball. Not because I didn't like him playing basketball, just because his work schedule. He has to go to work and he has to provide for his family. So it's either he's gonna keep going to the gym and playing basketball, or he's gonna provide. So as a family man, he had to make that
Choice.
sacrifice and let that go in order to provide for his family.
Wow. That's cool, man. You give us stuff, he give us stuff. So that's what you call compromise. You're both
Yeah.
give us stuff just to make make things work to meet each other in the middle, which is good. I want you to respond to this statement I'm about to read here. So it's about the relationship fairness. You know, it says that it is about recognizing and respecting your relationship needs. Fairness in a relationship is about flexibility that is necessary to meet everyone's needs, including that of the relationship. In order to achieve fairness in a relationship, there are three perspectives that need to be considered: yours, your partner, and your relationship. What do you think?
I think that's correct. Yes. It has to be across the board. Um, Relationship is not all about you, the individual, honestly.
Right.
It's about
And
both parties.
and that's what my my wife always told me. She said everything should be about me, and I'd be laughing. I said, but why?
Actually, speaking from a woman's perspective, she's kind of right, but
Yeah,
no.
she said, why? She said, why everything should always be about you? You. I'm like, wow. Then I asked a follow up question: why is it about me? But go ahead. Yeah, yeah. It's I mean, relationship is hard. Like I said, communication is the key. Learning about each other. You made some very important points, and I hope those that are watching, those few people that are watching, and take notes. Those that will come later on and watch the show, you should really watch the entire conversation. And those are I know because I posted something on my personal page that we live on the current situation page. So and those that will join us, feel free to contribute. Feel free to opine here because a lot of stuff that has been discussed, and I learned a lot here from you. So yeah, I know you said that you are coming on early to leave early. Did you want to give a closing statement? Feel free. If you want to recap anything, feel free to do that.
Oh, closing statement. Just
Yeah.
because relationship is hard doesn't mean it can't work. Yes, it can. And when you have an understanding with your spouse, with your partner, it's a very beautiful thing. What I mean by that is now you have your own person that you can share your deepest secret with. You have a person who, when you call them on the phone, you don't even have to talk. They already know that something is wrong. The moment you say, they know, and they have the right things to say to you, not the things you want to hear, but the things that you need to hear to pull you out of whatever you're into. Relationship works for younger couples too. Please don't allow the media fool you that relationship is all gravy and grains and all of this. It's not. It takes hard work, but then you will reap exactly what you sow. It becomes more fun when you guys have mutual understanding. And no, it does not take one person to run a household. It does not take only the man to run a household. It does not take only the woman to run a household. It does not take just the woman to raise the kids.
Let me
Because
let me interject a quick question here. And you can add it in your concluding statement.
okay.
If you and your husband, this is something. I mean, and don't get me wrong. If feel free if you don't want to answer, that's fine. If you want to answer, that's okay. If you guys having marital problems where you guys cannot solve it both of you, who do you run to for professional help? Do you run to friends, close friends and family, or do you run to your pastor, or what do you guys do?
It really depends, honestly. Um, for the most part, most of what me and my husband problems that we have had after our second year of marriage, for the most part, we have been able to resolve our own problems because we have had those hard conversations. But if for any reason where we have problems that we're not able to
Yeah.
resolve on our own, we'll first pray about it, and then we'll talk to either our immediate like parents that we trust, because me and my mother-in-law, we talk about everything, and we talk about her
And
son.
you and your dad, and you and your dad are very
Me and
close.
my
Like
dad, we are this close, and my husband
yeah.
is like one of his sons. So
Oh wow.
there is nothing that me and my husband will go through that my dad will hear about, and he's not going to come in to fix it right then and there. I have one friend that I talk to because I know that she would tell me my truth, and she would tell me where I went wrong,
Right.
and it would never leave her mouth to go into someone else's ears. Not
She won't
even
tell her best friend. Her best friend
she,
tell her best
no,
friend. Her best friend
she
tell.
won't even tell her husband what I
Yeah.
just told her. And good thing
Wow.
is, my husband
Yeah.
and her husband, they're also
Mhm.
really good friends. So if he gets to hear what's going on with me and him, that means it came from my husband to him
Oh,
because he won some type of things. And those are friends and family that we fast and pray with. So that's the one friend that I trust with my life,
yes.
because everything else is between me and my husband and God.
And she's
That's what we take it
and
to.
she's and that one friend that she's a Liberian girl.
She's not African.
I know. I hope that is she Liberian. Trust me. If you say you got a Liberian friend who is very close to you, but she or he or she have another best friend who they are very close. So this is how the information circulates. I tell the guy who is my best friend about something that going in my marriage that I don't want nobody to hear, even my extended family. I don't want them to hear. If I tell that person like, okay, I promise you, I'm not going to tell. But guess what? That person will tell his best friend I'm not close to, and his best friend will tell another best friend, and you know, bam, your business on social media indirect coming to you. But guess what?
Well,
Some couple they whole business on social media. They speak
well,
about
I have learned in my little short life that I have lived on earth that I'm very careful on how I choose friends. Just because we talk all the time or we get to see each other and we're laughing doesn't mean that we are friends on that level. I'm very, over the last few years, I have become very protective of my personal space. I may see you out and joke and we laugh and we kiki, we kaka, and you say, "Oh my gosh, girl, you look so fine" when I post my pictures. That's all good. But when it comes to my personal space, I'm too overly protective of it. So I don't just be friends with everybody going forward. I've learned too much. I
oh,
have
I know.
I have African friends. My
Yeah, I know.
childhood friend since I was in preschool in Africa. We're still friends. She doesn't live here, but she's one of the people where I know I can talk to all the time. But does that mean that she may go out and tell other people? I trust her as well, just like I trust this friend. But I don't want to tell my business here and tell it there and tell it there, and then now don't know who's telling my business. So I tell one person and
Absolutely.
one person only.
Before you leave, I would like to say hi to your daughter and your husband. Are they around? Or they kind of busy now?
One second. Babe, he's in the living room. 1 second.
Oh, well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in here. All my panelists they disappear on me tonight, but at least my friend, my little sister Bentika came out here tonight for us to discuss. I just want to say hi to her daughter and her husband. These are very good people. I've been knowing for a very long time here. But my home girl, Bo, aka Marie, Marie, let us know when you come on to discuss these topics here. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
My older daughter sleep for school, but that's my husband and the babies who's still up.
What's
How
up,
y'all
brother?
doing?
What's up? What's up?
How
Yeah,
y'all
yeah.
doing?
I asked to say, yeah, yeah. Hi to you, yeah. How's the family? Thank you very much for taking care of the beautiful family. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You're
What did
so
you say?
Uh,
Hello, 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 hello. How you guys doing? Thank you, brother. The last time I saw you was in Walmart. We ran into each other.
oh
So it's
yeah,
been,
yes.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, thank you. God bless you and the family. Thank you for taking care of your beautiful family. We appreciate that. And current situation, we just wanted to say hi to you, brother.
Thank you. Thank you. You
Yeah.
say hi.
good. Get out of
Hello.
the thing.
Hello, beautiful.
Take your daughter.
What's her name?
Huh?
what's how old is she and what's her name?
She is 2 years old. She just turned 2 2 months
Okay.
ago. And
All
then
right.
her name is Miracle Faith.
Mary, I love that
Mhm.
name. Yeah, and
I need
did
to-
she say she's going to brush her teeth?
Yep, she needs to brush her teeth for bed.
Oh, okay. So she talking now? And she
Yeah,
just turned 2?
yeah.
Wow.
She
Yeah.
said she
Yeah. Some
says
kids.
whole sentences.
Oh, wow. That's good. Yeah. I mean, some kids, they talk early. Some, wait until they're like 3 or 4. Yeah. Yeah. I know a kid. He started talking at the age of 4. And yeah, and some
Oh,
start talking very early. Yeah. But yeah,
yeah.
but Ventika, it was nice talking to you. I hope we can talk more often. I mean, like I said, I haven't seen you guys in a while.
I
I
know.
wanted
We
to
need
talk.
to get together sometimes.
Yes, 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 yes. And summer is coming. We will. I will try to attend. Most of your events. Feel free anytime you want to disseminate some information. I'll just come on the show. I will sometimes do some live podcast from my personal page, but I just try to keep it as posting and just pretty much promote this new page. Yeah. Yeah, but thank you very much for taking time off your busy schedule to come here. I learned a lot, and I know those are watching. They learned a lot as well. Yeah, I will always let you know ahead of time. To make guest appearance. I know today was an impromptu, but you still found time to come. So I appreciate that
Thank you for having me.
as
I hope I
always.
didn't offend anybody on here.
No, 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 no. All the
Okay.
information. You use most of your personal experience, and we learn from that. Because I like these shows here to come on. Relationship topic. People learn from that. Some people they're watching. They are married couple. They say, oh, maybe I can learn 1 or 2 things from what she said. Some people are single. They can learn things from if you give advice for single people. Some people in relationships. Yeah. So like I said, that's why the show is called the Triple Constraint Network. We inform, we interact, and we entertain. Thank you, sis. God
Thank
bless you.
you. Bye.
All right. Bye. All right, folks. Thank you very much for tuning in here. And I didn't get none of my panelists today, but at least my guest, I know she appeared, and I just told her this morning, "Can you appear on the show?" She said yes. Yeah. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. So it's 10:18. We just want to let you guys know that the show is on every Wednesday. Every Wednesday. So if you have a topic that you want to discuss and you think that you want us to discuss, let us know. Send it to my inbox or send it to my partners, my co-host inbox. Mr. I love you, Vince Carter, CC Mentin, DJ Finance, and Monica, and also Devin. I'd like to say I love you all, and thank you very much for contributing every day to the show here. I know people are busy, like CC said, she's very busy, and and I will try to be releasing the flyer at least 2 3 days ahead of time for everybody to be prepared. It's kind of hard to get everybody on the show at the same time. I think when we started from the beginning, we used to get like 4 or 5 people on the show, but eventually, sometimes we'll have like 2 or 3. But it's just to have all the panelists at once is we haven't seen it yet. And today, I think all the panelists just busy. Yeah, but our guest fill in, and we appreciate that here. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, everything must come to an end. Let not your hearts be troubled. Always be very optimistic in everything you do. Continue to smile more often. It's life. Life is is too stress. Life is stressful. It's every day it's a new issue you have to deal with. So smile more often. We are not here forever, but the time we are here, we should be able to leave our marks. When we gone from this earth, we should be our legacy can leave. Sometimes we can be a living legend. Some people been dead for a while, 40, 50 years. They still, people still talk about them. They are living legend. Yeah, they are living legends. So yeah, so do what you can do best. Surround yourself with positive people. Always be your optimist, and just be yourself, and just be very sociable. Interact positively, and life is hard. It depends on how the choices you make. Sometimes come things come easy, depend on the strategy you put in place. And but in all, life is life. Life is something that we should live to the fullest. And by doing good, and by providing good services, being part of the community, being volunteers, yeah. But thank you, folks. Always love the show. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow we are discussing national politics. So the show, our regular schedule is Monday, no, not Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So Tuesday we discuss uh, uh, GGAA. The show is called GGAA on Tuesday, Grand Jury Association in the Americas, prime time. Wednesday we discuss Ladies Night, where we discuss different relationship topics. Thursday we discuss national politics. We're gonna talk about Liberia, we'll talk about the US. We just discuss current event on Thursday, current event. So that's what we discuss on Thursday. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is free flow. We come in as needed. And on Monday, we come in as needed. But the regular schedule of current situation, we are on air 3 days a week. All right? 3 days a week. And those other days, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we come on as needed, meaning that we go to a social event, or we attend a baby shower or wedding. We decide to turn our camera on as needed. But our regular schedule, where you can follow us, you can follow this show, you can be part of the show, is Tuesday, GGAA primetime, Wednesday, Ladies Night, and Thursday, it's called Diaspora Liberian Political Spotlight. Yeah. So thank you to my man, D Will, always come through. My man, Mr. I Love You, my homegirl, Bo. And you guys, thank you for coming in, making some comments. We appreciate that. And special thing and appreciation to Ventica Woods, aka D, for coming through tonight. Big thanks to her, for saving the night. Well, good discussion. We see you guys tomorrow on Diaspora Liberian's Political Spotlight. It starts at 9 p.m. tomorrow. Good night. Bonne nuit.